Hi, I'm Scarlett, the creator of Wonder Curl, and welcome back to another hair care video. So in this video, I am going to share with you the beginner's guide to moisturizing your hair. So whether you are just getting started or you've been in the natural hair for years, but you still can't figure out why your hair doesn't stay hydrated, then this is the video for you. So stay tuned and I'm going to share with you my tips. Wonder Curl products use natural ingredients that are known to nourish and hydrate your hair. Your hair gets better elasticity to maximize length retention. Visit wondercurl.com and use coupon code YT10 for 10% off your next order. All right, so let's talk about moisturizing. This is a word we hear a lot, and we say like we want our hair moisturized, we want to keep our hair moist, or we're looking at products that are moisturizers. Well, essentially moisture or moisturizers is really water or some type of liquid that's going to help to get into your hair so that your hair can stay hydrated. Hydrated hair means that your hair is going to have elasticity so it doesn't get dry and brittle. So when we are moisturizing our hair, I mean, technically we're just water, but most likely you're using some sort of leave-in that has an oil or a butter in it. And the idea is, of course, to reduce that moisture loss in the strands of your hair. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to say hydration. I like thinking of my hair being hydrated versus moisturized, because hydrated means your hair isn't wet anymore, but you can feel the curls. Your hair is plump, it's soft, it's juicy, it's not dry, it's easy to manage on your wash day, you know, after having your hair out for a week or two. When it's time to detangle, the tangling process is easier because when your hair is hydrated, it takes a lot less effort to detangle your hair, to rehydrate your hair, because it already has that hydration, that moisture inside of it. So you want these tips? I'm going to give you these tips. Tip number 1, clean your hair. If you have been watching my videos, and you know I say this a lot, you want to make sure that you are using a cleanser that is appropriate for your hair porosity. Porosity is probably the most important thing you should know about your hair, and that's simply how your hair is going to absorb moisture or your products. So if your hair is high porosity, meaning it's damaged, it gets wet easily, it absorbs easily, but then it gets dry easily, then you're probably going to want to use a less abrasive shampoo, something that is a bit more moisturizing, one of your moisturizing shampoos. But if your hair is low porosity, meaning you have the opposite problem, your hair can't get moisture into it, but once that moisture is in there, it is in there, then you're probably going to want to use shampoo. A shampoo that has a little bit more lathering to it, and that's going to agitate the hair, and that's going to help to open the cuticles. It's going to remove any of that oils and butters from the products you're using. It's going to remove any product buildup. It's going to help that moisture to get back into it. If your hair is medium porosity, then you get to pick which one works best for you depending on what types of products you've been using on your hair. So for example, if you use silicones on your hair, then you're definitely going to want to use a nice good shampoo, a cleansing shampoo. But if you use a lot of water soluble products, then you'll probably get away with using a softer moisturizing shampoo. But you definitely want to make sure that you are shampooing your hair on a regular basis. And a regular basis is what works for you and your lifestyle. You know when your hair is dirty, do not avoid it, wash it. Tip number 2, avoid using raw oils and butters in your hair. I know this goes completely against a lot of what we've learned, especially when you consider the LOC or the LCO methods. You want to use oils and butters to seal in the moisture. Yes, I know, and I've even tried it myself. But here is the thing, is that when you're using raw oils, and I'm talking like oils and butters in their natural form, not a part of a formula of your product, it is actually going to make your hair harder to absorb moisture. If you are using straight up oils and butters on your hair, I would recommend if your hair is high porosity to do this, but definitely not if you are low or medium porosity. You don't need it. And actually, if your hair is low porosity, it's going to be harder on your hair to absorb moisture. So you want to, I would say, if you're going to use oils and butters on your hair, wait till your hair is completely dry and then use just a little bit, just to add a little bit shine, just to get rid of the flyaways. But that's it. Just remember, if you haven't heard this before, but I know a lot of you have, oils and butters do not moisturize your hair. Water does. So think about it. If you put water, oil on your hair, then your hair gets dry, and then you put water, oil again like a few days later, and then water, oil, you're just piling on those oils. You're just piling on, and that's going to clog the cuticle of your hair. So make sure you avoid that. But if you are shampooing your hair and you're applying your products properly on wash day, you shouldn't need to have to constantly re-wet or re-moisturize your hair during the week. So that actually leads me to the next one about making sure that the products you're using has those natural oils and butters in their formula. And if you are a DIYer and you're like, I love making my own products, but I use oil and butter separately, mix it in. Mix it into your product, and then you have your LOC in one. But if you're not a DIYer, then maybe you want to try one of our sealing hair butter or moisturizing hair pudding. And my final tip for having your hair feeling moisturized and hydrated is stop air drying your hair. Stop air drying your hair. I say this so much because so many of you are still doing it. A lot of you don't believe me. Some of you are cursing me out. I know. It is hard to believe, but I have discussed this at length, why air drying is actually harder on your hair than heat drying. Now, when I say heat drying, I'm talking using gentle ambient heat. Think your hooded hair dryer, a diffuser on your blow dryer. Those are going to create a gentle heat so that it's not direct on your hair, and it's not going to be so hard, and it's not going to damage the cuticle or the surface layer of your hair the way a flat iron or your curling iron would, or if you're using your blow dryer on this high setting directly on your hair. That is what we want to avoid. But when you put a diffuser on your blow dryer or you sit under the hooded dryer, that air isn't actually touching your hair directly. It's ambient, it's around it. It's going to help your hair to dry a lot faster. And the idea is that heat, that warm ambient heat, is also going to help your hair to absorb the moisture. It's going to close up the cuticle, and it's going to have your hair feeling smoother and softer. So those are my quick and easy tips on how to get hydrated hair that's going to last you all week long. Now, if you want to learn how to use the products in your hair, check out some of the other videos that I have below. Tons of videos showing you how to use the products in your hair to achieve maximum hydration. That's the key. We want max hydration in our hair so that we don't have to re-wet it until it's time to wash it again. All right, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of these tips, or if you have your own, in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to like it and subscribe.